So today we're going to talk about making scientific observations. And I'm going to start off by asking you guys, what do you think a scientific observation is? Can anyone give me a general definition? Nick?
Something you notice.
Awesome, thank you. So an observation is a statement about something that you notice. Now, can someone give me an example of an observation about this classroom, maybe? Jonah?
It's small.
Good. It's small. Anyone else? Jake?
It has gray walls.
Gray walls. Great. Another good observation. Thank you. So when we're talking about scientific observations, there are two major types. There's what we call quantitative and a quantitative observation is one that uses numbers. So we come up with these observations by counting and measuring, and we often use tools to help us do this. So rulers, scales, yardsticks, anything like that that helps you come up with a measurement, that's a quantitative observation. Now, on the other hand, a qualitative observation is a descriptive observation that does not use numbers. And we often use our five senses, so sight, hearing, smell, touch, and taste, to come up with these observations. So we're going to do a little bit of a practice, and I brought in this mug, this little owl, and I'm going to ask you guys to make observations about it. Would someone like to volunteer to give me an observation about the mug? Nick?
It's white.
Good, it's white. And what kind of observation do you think that would be?
Qualitative.
Good, why do you think that?
Because I saw its color with my eyes.
Good, and what else could you use to help you determine that it's qualitative? What other information?
It doesn't use any numbers.
Great, it doesn't use any numbers. That's usually a good rule of thumb to follow when determining if something is qualitative or quantitative. Thank you, Nick. So we'll add white. Does anyone else have any observations? Maybe Jake, yeah?
The owl has two eyes.
Two eyes, good. What kind of observation do you think that is?
Quantitative.
Good, and why?
Because that includes a number.
Great. So it uses a number, so two eyes. Now let's do one more. Maybe someone who hasn't participated. Ryan?
It has ridges on the sides.
Great. And what kind of observation do you think that would be?
Qualitative.
Because?
Because I could touch it and feel the ridges.
Awesome. You're using your sense of touch. Good. And like we said earlier, no numbers. So ridges would fall under qualitative. Now, it looks like you guys have a pretty good idea of the difference between qualitative and quantitative observations, but to reinforce it a little bit, I've written a little song that will hopefully help make it more concrete, and I passed out the lyrics, so if you could just follow along with me, help me out. It's to the tune of Happy Birthday. Okay. Qualitative observations, qualitative observations. Use your senses, no numbers. Qualitative observations, quantitative observations, quantitative observations. Use your tools to count and measure. Quantitative observations. Awesome. Thank you, guys. I know it's a little silly, but hopefully it'll be a good way to help you guys remember when you're trying to make observations in the future, whether it's quantitative or qualitative. So you might be wondering why we're talking about observations, and that's because we're starting to learn about scientific experiments, and every good scientific experiment stems from a good, thoughtful observation.